Welcome back. All right, so news of the day video for all you fine people for your Friday, December the 15th. And I wanted to start off too by saying I was interviewed this morning by Ted Ramey, who does work for the San Jose Sharks. And so that'll be getting posted soon, and then I'll be able to post in the community tab of the channel here the link to that interview. It was fun. Went up for about 20 minutes. So yeah, it was fun. All right, so we're going to start off talking about the Minnesota Wild, and there's a piece of information that's not on the board regarding the Minnesota Wild as well. So I mentioned there were investigations into the team that were going on. Apparently that was related to Bill Guerin and his conduct, and at this point in time, the NHL is saying that they are satisfied with the Minnesota Wild and what they've done with their investigation. Obviously, Guerin's still in charge and everything. So it looks like there was a complaint that was put in and it was investigated, and apparently all is good. So at this point in time, that seems to have been taken care of. Again, sometimes when it's NHL related, it might crop up again later, but at this point, it looks like it's fine. Jared Spurgeon skated before practice today. He is seen as a game-time decision for the game tomorrow against Vancouver. I will say the same thing about Minnesota that I said about Tampa Bay. You can't be too careful with your best defenseman, in this case, captain. I think holding him out at tomorrow's game makes the most sense for Minnesota as a Canucks fan. Brodin will see a doctor next week. There'll be clarity on the timeline for his return once the hard cast has come off. So they're still not sure on the timeline, that being reported by Jessie Pierce. And she did update it. Initially, she said it was going to be today that he'd see the doctor, and then she posted a correction that it'll be next week that Brodin will see the doctor. So obviously Minnesota's going to miss Jonas Brodin while he's out. It does give a chance for other defensemen to jump up. Damon Hunt is supposed to be in the mix to play and is likely to play tomorrow for them. So yeah, we'll see how things go for Minnesota. I was even thinking about it today, like which team has been the most newsworthy so far this season. There's been some surprising contenders. Obviously, early on it was Columbus, but it does feel like Minnesota's getting into that conversation, as is the team that I'm wearing the jersey for. So Boston, just lineup news for all you fine people on the internet. Boquist is in the lineup tonight. Poitras's out. Jim Montgomery saying that's according to plan, so probably load management, I guess, with Poitras. But Boquist, of course, a player who is out of the New Jersey Devils organization, because New Jersey and Boston have quite the relationship when it comes to players switching places between those two organizations. Ullmark is getting the start tonight against the New York Islanders. It doesn't really matter who Boston has in net. Both goalies have had really, really strong starts to the season. So we'll see how Jesper Boquist does in the lineup for the Boston Bruins tonight. With Poitras watching from above. Raquel is in a regular jersey at Pittsburgh's practice today. He's eligible to be taken off long-term injured reserve tomorrow. And LTIR continues to be a discussion. At some point in time, I do need to do like another video looking at LTIR. But yeah, so he is eligible to come back tomorrow, and that'd be a boost, I would think, for Pittsburgh, as well as for Raquel. He was playing really well just before the injury. So St. Louis's game last night, in the pregame, when they're doing the announcement, when they got to Jordan Kyrou's name, the fans booed him. So if you were watching and you weren't aware of what was going on, I'd be like, what? Why are Blues fans booing him? I think this is honestly people just blowing up a comment that I don't think means a whole lot. So he was asked about Berube, and he basically said to the effect that Berube's not his coach anymore, which made it sound like, I don't care about him, he's not here anymore. I get it. But I think booing your own player off the ice and just booing him when he comes onto the ice, I don't think it's a great look. Kyrou, though, I will say this too, Kyrou has not had a good season so far. So I think some of the fan frustration might have come out in the booing there, because they may have been gearing towards booing him anyways. I don't know if that comment had been made by, say, Binnington. I don't know if he would have been booed when he hit the ice. I think the fact it was Kyrou makes it a little bit easier. If you're a Blues fan, you can let me know in the comment section below if you think there's anything to that or not. He did apologize after the game. I just feel like it's, I don't know, the booing that we see now, it's sort of like how I talked about so many people throw jerseys on the ice now. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't. It used to be like that was the absolute lowest of the lows, and now it's just, you allow a goal in the first period. Oh, look, there's a jersey on the ice. So fans booing a guy for saying he's not my coach anymore, he's not wrong. I understand that people are mad about the sentiment. I understand there's people who'd rather see the GM gone in St. Louis rather than than Berube. There may very well be some Blues fans that might be ticked off. The team had their best game they've had in a while last night. Because again, that means that it kind of vindicates Armstrong, at least for now. We'll see how long that coach's bump lasts for St. Louis, if they can get into and stay in a playoff spot from here, and if Kyrou can get his game in order. And it may very well be that Kyrou's game didn't mix with what Berube wanted, and maybe under Drew Bannister, maybe he finds his game and he starts producing. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't agree with booing a guy for just being honest. This is why players give you pat answers. The next time you see a player going, we need to get pucks deep, 110%, play a full 60 minutes. Can't take anybody lightly. Next time you guys want to complete that, this is why. Because when a player's honest and he's like, not my coach anymore, then people get mad. So this is why players give pat answers. Patrick Laine, the Columbus Blue Jackets, is going to be out 6 weeks. So the injury problems with Laine have gone on for some time. He's going to be out 6 weeks. It's a fractured clavicle suffered last night against the Leafs. So for Laine, another 6 weeks on the shelf, so he'll be coming back around the 1st of February or last week of January. I guess we might as well say, right after the All-Star break or right before the All-Star break, right? But not a great moment, obviously, for Laine, who's had his ups and downs this year, and now he's going to be out 6 weeks. Ryan Reeves, lower body injury, and I hate to report it this way again, but he's out for a while. Lower body injury. And it was weird because he clearly hit a rut in the ice. The interesting part to me was that it looked like he hit a rut in the ice and then his knee awkwardly hit the boards. And I really expected them to take a minute to at least look at that part of the ice and see if it was just a fluke thing. I didn't see anybody look at that part of the ice. But yeah, I was happy we didn't see any more injuries in that part of the ice. But yeah, Reeves is going to be out for a while, and obviously people are going to jump on that and say, well, see, now the Leafs will get even more cap space to add and, make it sound like somehow it was something intentional. Because I've already seen, well, isn't that convenient? I saw that online last night. I'm like, seriously? So Reeves is out for a while. We don't have a timeline because the NHL's gearing towards a time where, even last night, I heard, I'm trying to remember which game I was watching where they said something about a lower body injury. And the other commentator says, does it really matter? Like, they don't even tell us what the injury is anymore. Why don't we just start saying they're injured and just drop the lower body, upper body injury? Because they even pointed out they could lie to us and say it's an upper body injury when it's lower body. We don't know. And so I think there's some truth to that. I do. You might be like, his knee's really, really, really a mess right now. Let's tell them it's an upper body injury. So when he comes back, they'll think it was his shoulder or his elbow. So yeah, the vagueness, the opaque NHL when it comes to injuries continues. Zach Parise's training for a potential NHL return. Do you know how tempted I was to put an Islanders logo next to Zach Parise's name there? He's 39 years of age, and we know that in previous interviews with Lou Lamoriello, when he's asked about Parise, he has said, we have a spot here for him if he wants to return. So if Parise can get himself up to NHL level, and if they can show Lou Lamoriello he's ready to go, I would not be surprised to see him back with the New York Islanders by as soon as I'd say the first week of January. So just from the way they're talking about how his training's ramping up and everything, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a New York Islanders jersey by then. But we'll see, right? There are other teams out there who might be looking somewhere. Phil Kessel's like, really? Nobody signed me yet? But at any rate, I'll still bat for you, Phil. Honestly, I think Phil Kessel could be a good addition for somebody as a fourth liner, but we'll see if Parise gets signed. And again, as the season goes along and more injuries are going to take place, it might open a door for a guy like Phil Kessel to jump in. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Parise ends up with the Islanders? And if not, where else do you think he could go? So November 14th, Juuso Valimaki got hurt, and we knew it was a horrific injury. He got hit in the mouth with a puck, a 93-mile-per-hour shot to the mouth, and it wasn't deflected, it was direct. So he goes to the Dallas hospital, and this has come out today that the NHL and the NHLPA are investigating the care that he got at that hospital. He was left without care for hours. He was also told by hospital staff to maybe go to the hotel and have a sleep, and that come back in the morning when they're not so busy. They've got really severe injuries and life-threatening conditions to worry about. The problem with that advice is simple. It sucks. Yusuf Valimaki was bleeding from the mouth. If you sent him back to the hotel to go to sleep, he could have choked on his own blood. And I hate to put it that way, but I don't know a nice way to put it. But that's what could have happened. He could have died. He absolutely could have. And when they finally got him in there, they found a broken jaw. They found that he needed 55 stitches. 3 teeth needed to be removed. Like, this was major. This was not just some small cut on the finger or on the forehead. This was something major. And so the NHL and the NHLPA are investigating why it took 5 hours. At that point, the NHLPA stepped in. The NHLPA had to step in to make sure he got the care he needed. So they're investigating the protocols in Dallas. So this is not something that negatively impacts Arizona, or it's not about Arizona staff or anything. This is the protocols for the medical emergencies in Dallas, because in this case, Valimaki's back playing. He's okay now. But again, when you see this kind of news, it's troubling, because there are definitely situations where a hockey player could get hurt during a game and end up needing urgent medical care beyond what Valimaki was dealing with here. And so the question would then become, all right, so the hospital protocols, I'm sure they'll be checking on the hospital itself and talking to hospital administrators. And, it may very well end up being a situation where a player gets hurt at a Dallas game, they go to a different hospital, that kind of thing, right? So we'll see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.